The conversation about the PlayStation 5 Pro is, in my opinion, one of the strangest that I've ever seen. On the console side, I think what has gone wrong is, for some strange reason, a lot of the influencers that talk about PlayStation have given people the wrong impression as to exactly what this PS5 Pro is capable of. Also, PlayStation hasn't really helped because its marketing is honestly a little bit, in a sense, positioned in a way to not necessarily provide a lot of clarity because they need to sell this hardware to a lot of folk. And I think a lot of these folk are unsuspecting as to what may be going on. Now, let me go ahead and point out something that I think is very interesting because a lot of PlayStation 5, fans, they somehow think that any criticism or, any conversation about the PlayStation 5 Pro is people being insecure that this PlayStation 5 Pro is doing something so radical in the hardware space. Like one audience member said, it's closing the gap between the console and the PC. I talked about Doc Dark's video, and someone answered and said Doc is afraid because PlayStation consoles is going to get to a point where you wouldn't need a PC to play your games, and it's starting with the PS5 Pro. Imagine how powerful the PS6 is going to be. I want to go ahead and assure you, if you're a PlayStation fan, you should have been happy about this actually 4 years ago. Because what this person is saying, starting with the PS5 Pro, already started with the base PlayStation. And I have proof for you. The base PlayStation 5 could already outperform a good number of PCs that existed in the market when you actually compared them head to head with specific games, especially the PlayStation games. We have we have the data right here in front of us when we look at the minimum and recommended specs for a lot of the PlayStation games on Steam. When you go and look at most of them that are already available, the hardware is literally underpowered. Like Lego Horizon, let's just look at Ghost of Tsushima. This is, I think, probably a good one. Okay? You're not permitted to view this material at this time. Let's go and look at it. Ghost of Tsushima, I don't know why it's giving me error here. It's being stupid. Okay, Ghost of Tsushima, 5600 XT, RTX 2060, i5 8600, 16 gigs of RAM. This is what a PC that can play Ghost of Tsushima would do. And the PlayStation 5 runs that game at 60 FPS, is already doing it, capable of doing it. God of War, when you look at, say, even God of War, I'm having a weird error on Steam. All I got to do is just type in the names. I guess I open all of that at the same time and Steam is giving me issues. God of War Ragnarok. Let's go and look at the PC requirements. It wants a 2060 or a 5700 or an Intel Arc A770. It wants an i5 8600 or, in the case of the minimum requirement, a 1060 or an RX 5500. There is nothing new that the PS5 and the Series X were not capable of achieving when it came to games that were well optimized that could not be found in most PCs. And I said, expand your imagination and try to visualize what the 50 series would do this holiday. And they said it doesn't matter. Imagine what PSSR is going to be in the future. Like I said, PC is going to be irrelevant because Sony consoles is going to do what the build PC can do. My brother, it is already a thing. PC and PS5, depending on the configuration, can already go head to head. No one is arguing this again. How have you been a PlayStation 5 player for 4 years and you didn't know this? Like, how could they have reset your knowledge base to think that somehow the PS5 Pro is going to go and accomplish something that was already capable of being accomplished in the PlayStation 5 and Series X base, and even Series S in some applications, because PC comparisons and components are very diverse. What you're afraid of, or what you probably are not aware of, I don't know if it's a fear, is that you finally got one upscaler from AMD who pretty much, it took them a while to get their act together when making upscalers, which is PSSR, not realizing that DLSS has been a thing for about 5 years. The first iteration of DLSS, ladies and gentlemen, was launched in 2019. You are just getting a upscaler that is using AI because of all of the advancements that had been done from the ground up before it then got introduced. But DLSS has had multiple iterations to the point where now it's pretty much a juggernaut. And if you're trying to imagine what PSSR would do on AMD hardware, which is actually a limiting factor on upscaling, which if you've seen FSR and every FSR 2.0 and all the others, imagine what DLSS from NVIDIA is going to be able to accomplish, and your imagination can't even get there. It is not even a gap. It's a canyon between both of them. You are still in this generation finally getting your own upscaler after 4 years, while there have been iterations of DLSS, and then not only in upscaling, in raw power, the console will never be able to keep up. Why? The components will be way too expensive to price to the regular console user. It's a simple economic reality. Also, saying this is mainly unaware of the operating system in a PC. The PlayStation's operating system is a limited machine by default. You are not breaking any technological barriers with a limited machine. What you are doing is basically sitting inside of the same box, the same tote. Imagine being in a tote and all they do is just give you basically a bigger tote so that you can move around a little bit more. That's it. You're not leaving that tote. PlayStation does not want you to leave that tote. Xbox does not want you to leave that tote. Why? Because you will make them more money staying inside of that tote than actually when you leave. Because guess what happens? The moment you break out and buy a PC and build a PC, they no longer have control over how you actually game, over the prices and the cost of games that you play. Yes, they lose all of that. So you need to be in that box, and so they must sell you that box at an affordable price, while PC will price its components based on its performance relative to the previous generation and the previous components in similar categories. And for the most part, there is not the day and time where they want to sell you RTX 4090 level of hardware, even in the PS6 generation, at the price that it would even make you even think about it twice. Because we know the next console is probably going to be in the $1,000 price point. But by that point, I mean, think about what the 4080 and the 4080 Super and the 4090 are going on for now, of which nobody would even advise you that you buy those hardware pieces. They're not designed for gaming for the most part. It's just that they're actually marketed, and actually made in a way that they can support gaming compared to the original uses, which were architecture, 3D modeling, animation, and all of the other things. But they've realized that there's an enthusiast level of the PC gamer that's willing to pay for it, so they've branded them that way. If you're a console gamer, I must recommend that you learn about the PC ecosystem before you make conclusions like this. This has got to be the strangest thing ever. How are you so in your own bubble that you can't see what is being done here? You can't see the play. With everything that's being said and done, and now that the analysis is coming out, now that we're getting a little bit more according to somebody, post PS5 Pro clarity, what do we have here, ladies and gentlemen? The PS5 Pro is getting a price cut. This is not a drill, according to TRG, Tech Radar Gaming. The PS5 Pro has already received a Black Friday price cut with this deal. When you purchase through links on our site, you may blah, 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 that's affiliate commission disclaimers. Hold the flipping phone. The PS5 Pro is not even a week old, and we've already got a genuine PS5 Pro deal at Argos right now in the UK. You can currently pick up a PS5 Pro at £659, that's a 40 quid discount and decent price cut despite it launching $699 only 6 days ago. This is incredible news for anybody holding off committing and represents a tidy 5.7% of the MSRP. If you've been eyeing a Pro this month and have been waiting for a deal or potential price cut, then you might have been fully vindicated. Now is the time to strike. Other PS5 SKUs got a discount as well. I don't know what the motivation for this is, but the AMD's 9800X3D is basically sold out. That's the difference in terms of power and performance. If you really wanted to say, oh, it will compare, then why are people not jumping on 61 million users and then still about maybe 40-ish% of PlayStation gamers still on the PS4. Why aren't they jumping on the PS5 Pro? That would be, I think, the definitive upgrade, but they're still not excited. Why? Because there's better hardware in the market. And as long as AMD continues to make hardware for the consoles, they will almost never give anything away. They'll give the hardware manufacturer, PlayStation and Xbox, the hardware that is fitting for the budget, while they continue to make hardware that is fitting for the PC gamer's budget in different categories. Why would they ruin their business just because you feel like console is going to, quote, close the gap? Are we not aware anymore about how business works? It's premium levels. You sell different layers, different levels of a product, console being the base level because it has nowhere else to go. A PC, a pre-built or built PC being the second tier, and then high-end enthusiast, because that second tier can also be modified and you can add components that are of higher tier into it. So the PC market is actually quite viable for them. They're not going to trade it away for the console market. No, not at all. So you got to understand where hardware is going and where hardware is coming from. Perhaps there needs to be a whole class on hardware for a lot of console players, especially now that, they're actually basically speaking similar language in terms of this. And, honestly, they rely on you not really knowing a lot about the hardware in order for you to sell you this stuff. The moment you dial in, you will never have say what you just said just now. This is why I see a lot of people when they're making fun of Dark 1985 and, courageous approach to this, Doc. He put himself out there and said, I went to Walmart to buy a PC, and a lot of console fans lost their minds. You went to Walmart to buy a PC? Not knowing that the components inside of this PC is an AMD AM5 motherboard and CPU, which their own consoles are AMD made. It's that bad. It's literally that bad. It's like that guy that's literally wearing, some outfit that's made by, say, it's like somebody that wears Converse making fun of somebody that, is wearing Nikes. Oh, you're wearing Nikes? Not knowing that Nikes acquired Converses. They just don't know. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're just not aware of the way the internal business workings are. And so what they see on the, on the surface level is what they go with. They don't look a little deeper into the layers. And for some reason, they probably just don't know. Right? And that's pretty much what it is. It literally is just something like that. In my opinion, I just think it's very strange. So again, I think it's interesting, and I want to continue making these videos. I don't want to belittle anybody. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that this is just weird that, as a console player, you have not applied yourself to understanding exactly the PC platform of which you so confidently speak a lot about. You will be taught. That's one thing about the PC community. People don't hold back out here, man. They just say stuff. They will tell you. And man, you're about to be worn out. PlayStation fans, you don't even understand what you stepped into, bro. I studied the PC community for a very long time, and I was like, bro, this is a very opinionated bunch. Like, so opinionated, manufacturers apologize to PC communities out here. I have never see PlayStation make that kind of move to ever really admit that they were wrong to their own consumer. Nah, bro. They treat them like crap. Whereas on the PC side, AMD will be saying, oh, we're so sorry, we made a mistake. Nvidia will be like, Nvidia don't like to apologize too much. But once in a while, you see them make some moves. Like when they tried to tag I think it was the 40, I can't remember, the 40 series card that they tried to rename as another card when it was really supposed to be another card. And they got called out and they changed the name of a card. Like they changed the entire brand of a card. It's just like the PS5 Pro trying to come out and PS5 players say, nah, bro, this ain't no Pro. It's got no disc. And they're like, okay, PS5, nice. They Nvidia, $1 trillion Nvidia changed the name of a card from the PC company. And PlayStation, y'all have no idea what y'all have stepped in. You better leave your PlayStation content creators to hold the smoke, because if you keep jumping in the middle of it, it's just going to continue to be like you're putting yourself in something that you don't understand. They absolutely don't understand what they've done. They've absolutely, they have awakened a beast so big. Oh, man. By the time they recover from they won't recover from this stuff. I don't think they will. You see, they could make these kinds of claims in the PS4 days and get away with it. Not anymore. Not anymore. This is going to be rough. The ride ain't even started yet. You see, we haven't seen any of the 4070 comparisons yet. Oh Oh, oh man. Oh man. Oh, I already feel bad for him. Talk to me in the comment section, guys. Peace out.